All right, what's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about awakenings. We just saw Kid and Law use their awakenings, right, against Big Mom. And, Law was damn near bending reality. You know what I mean? That man was just a goat. Kid was all right. I know some of y'all like Kid. I don't. But yeah, Kid was all right. His railgun's cool though. I like the railgun. That's something I've been looking for from Kid. Some type of energy attack. That railgun, that thing's fire, I'm not gonna lie. Now, the reason I think Luffy has awakened is because I read chapter 1041. And now, if you read that chapter, go and read that chapter and then come back to the video. But in that chapter, Luffy does something that Kaido doesn't recognize. And it speaks volumes because he's using Gear Force Snake Man with Conqueror's coding. However, he's already done this. He's already used this against Kaido, and Kaido has already beat him. He's been keeping up. You know what I mean? Kaido has been keeping up with Snake Man this whole time, so when Luffy uses a new move called Gumma Gumma no Hydra, it begs the question, why is Kaido having trouble keeping up now? Like, what's the difference now? And he also asked the question, like, in his head, he asked himself, where are these punches coming from? As if to indicate, oh, he doesn't know where these punches are coming from, because before he was keeping up, but now it's either Gear 4 is moving too fast with this new move, or he's doing something different. And we get to see Luffy, he's looking a little different. He looks like, I'm not even sure what it is. He looks like he's just different. I think might be a new gear, guys. I don't know. But it's definitely awakening. He's definitely using some type of awakening. I want to explain a little bit about awakening before we just like automatically say he has it. Let me give a little brief history about awakening before we get into this. So we know from Crocodile that awakenings, they're basically like when someone masters a whole fruit. And Crocodile spoke a lot about this. I believe Crocodile might be, actually, there's someone before Crocodile, but I'll get into that later. I believe Crocodile might be the first Paramecia we see awakened. He talked about how he mastered his fruit, and other people, they don't bother taking the time to master the full capabilities of their fruit. And he was going on and on about how he, mastered his fruit, and he started using his sand in a different way. And like we learned from Doflamingo that awakenings are when you can affect other things besides yourself, right? So that's the main thing. Doflamingo has already told us that in the manga. It's when you can affect other things besides yourself, right? And I'm assuming if you have a fruit that already affects other things besides yourself, I'm assuming you can now affect yourself, right? So that's why, like, some people will say Big Mom's awakened, because her fruit can already affect other things. So maybe her awakening is when she can affect herself, which is why, she can heal herself. She can make herself stronger by giving her, like, taking away her lifespan, giving it to herself as energy. Like, that stuff's important to look at. So it low-key makes sense when you think about it in the way that Doflamingo explained it. It only makes sense if your fruit is a fruit that already affects other people. The only type of awakening that you would go through is when you can affect yourself. You know what I mean? So that's one. Now, I think Crocodile, when he used the sand to like dry up the land, stop it from raining, do all this other stuff, he was awakened. He did all this stuff. Like, and I can give another example. When Ace, what city did he go to? I forget what city it was, but the picture will be on the screen. He went to this one city in pre-time skip, and when he came, it stopped snowing. I think it was the Drum Kingdom. When he came, it stopped snowing, and they talked about it because like that place always snows. It's a snowy region, and when he came that one day, it just didn't snow, and that might have been Ace affecting the environment, which is another topic of interest. Like when we talk about Logias, they don't work the same as Paramecias. You know what I mean? Like Crocodiles, he did the same thing Ace is doing. He made it stop raining, and like we have admirals who are also doing the same thing. You know what I mean? We got Akiji and Akainu, and when they use their awakenings, half the island of Punk Hazard is filled with magma. The climate is just like volcanic terrain, and half the climate is like glacier terrain. You know what I mean? So that's how you know, like they're doing like the same thing Crocodile, Ace are doing. Theirs is a little like more extreme. You know what I mean? But yeah, and we also have another example. This is actually the first, I'm pretty sure this is the first awakening in my opinion. I'm pretty sure this is an awakening. The first awakening we've ever seen is Anel. Like, people like to sleep on the Nell, but his devil fruit was cracked and he had very good mastery control of it. So I'm pretty sure everything we saw Nell do might have been part of the awakening, right? And we saw him turn into this giant Amuru god. We've never seen any Logia transform into something like that. That's just something I want to point out. And he was able to make it rain lightning, just like Raijin Island, which is also like some type of headcanon of mine. I believe that Raijin Island was probably just like how Akiji and Akainu left the terrain, like they changed the climate of that island forever, I guess. That person must have changed, whoever had the Anel's devil fruit last must have changed the climate of Raijin Island forever, in retrospect, I guess. And Anel, he can do the same thing, kind of. He was on Sky Island making it rain, lightning. So, you know, it begs the question, is Anel awakened? And it would make a lot of sense. You know, he does a lot of things with his fruit, but that also could be because his fruit's powerful as shit. But you have to remember, like, we're talking about Logias, and if Logia's awakening is to affect other things besides themselves, right, then they can probably change the climate. That just makes the most sense. And he can make it rain lightning. He already can do that. He can summon lightning from the sky, which is still like a giant feat. Anel's lightning is like crazy and strong, out of this world. Like, bro, people be sleeping on his devil fruit, bro. His devil fruit is literally top 3 in the verse. But what's it called? We also have, in my personal opinion, I think Luffy's awakening is going to be a little bit like Katakuri's, where he can, you know, make stuff appear out of thin air, I guess. Rubber arms appear out of thin air, maybe, or maybe they're gonna bounce off of buildings. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking a little bit like Katakuri, maybe a little bit like Dofi. I've heard the idea of like a rubber world, kind of like a bouncy house. He can make everything rubbery and people just start bouncing around. That would be, I mean, if Oda can make that somehow cool, then that would be awesome. Like, if he can, like, I don't even know. He just has to find a way to make that cool if that's the case, because there is a possibility that is like what's gonna happen, because that does kind of make sense. But we don't know yet, so I'm not gonna say for sure. But I also had this idea in my head that like he might be able to make other people like rubbery, or maybe like soften other people's defenses. I don't know. I was just thinking like abstract, but I don't think he probably won't be able to do that. But yeah, that's what we know about awakenings. Also, we forgot about the zones. For zone awakenings, it's basically they turn into basic beasts. Like, they turn into their primal instinct forms of whatever creature they are. We saw it with the demon guards. Again, Crocodile, showing his knowledge about awakenings, told us, oh, the demon guards are awakened. And a lot of people didn't even know they were devil fruit users because they look just like beasts. So, and then we saw Chopper, who I believe is also awakened through the use of science. I think it's pretty safe to say Chopper might have awakened himself through the use of science, because zones, there's no way for a zone, unless you're a mythical zone, to just affect other things besides itself, because you're turning into a monster. You're not going to affect other things, right? So Chopper turned into this giant beast, and he beat CP9 like they were nothing. He just destroyed them like they weren't a challenge, you know what I mean? And he tossed them like from the fucking tower of whatever to the gate of justice, I think. And it was just insane. Like, I've never seen Chopper look so cool, you know what I mean? And now he can control it and stuff. And, you know, it's actually pretty strong. Like, in the manga, he was strong enough to hold back Queen. Although he did no damage, he still did his job in holding back Queen from going any further. You know what I mean? So that's something to, you know, that's something to clap it up for Chopper, man. Let's clap it up for Chopper. But I think this is all the evidence we need to tell us about Luffy. And I think Luffy is going to come out of this fight in next chapter. We don't got a break next week. If next chapter we get more Luffy versus Kaido, I think Luffy's going to bust out the awakening. And I think he's going to have a new gear with it. I'm not sure. A lot of people were against the new gear. I personally don't have a problem. It might be like a new, but the thing is though, we saw Luffy, like, he looks brand new in like this brand new state, right, in the manga. But at the same time, he said Gum Gum no Hydra and he was in Snake Man. So he didn't bust out a new form when he used that. So I'm not sure if it's even a new gear. It might just be awakening. It might just be something we don't know. It might just be, And there was also a theory that like he has like some weird ass zone devil fruit of like some rubber beast that we don't know about. And I don't know, that could be cool, but I'm not sure if that's the route Oda would go for. But maybe that could also be true. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if that would make sense. But unless there's like some mythological beast from like history that's made of rubber, I'm just not aware of. But yeah, that's what I think about Luffy's awakening, man. Like, it's gonna be either like Dofi's, like Katakuri's, a mix of both. But we're gonna have to just wait and see. But I think we're already getting a little taste of it. I think he's starting to make arms appear just out of thin air. And Kaido's words are like evident of that. Let's also not forget that the world government told CP0 to take out Luffy now, right? And the CP0 guy said he doesn't want to go up there because he's fighting Kaido and he's going to get killed if he goes in the middle of that fight. But they want Luffy dead now. So I think either they might have been talking about his fruit those couple chapters ago when they were talking about a specific fruit awakening. And I think now they're afraid Luffy might become too strong. So yeah, chapter 1041 was an info dump, and a lot of stuff's playing out like towards the end of the story, bro. And I think Luffy's awakening, bro. I think he's finally done it, bro. So yeah, let me know what you think about this theory, man. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video.